of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Commissioner Williams, will you please lead us in the prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day that you have granted us. Father, be with us today as we do the business of Mills County. Father, thank you for everything that you give to Mills County and your blessings that you bestow upon it. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. So good morning to everybody. We have a forum today. We welcome everybody in here today. And if you will, folks, commissioners, you'll look at number 2, review and act on minutes of February 26, 2024. Good morning, County Attorney Hale. Morning, girl. How's that? That look a little better? And Gerald, after we finish, we got a real quick question for you down in my office afterwards. Won't take but a minute, okay?
I'll make the round.
Yeah, just make it around. See you. Okay, commissioners, you're looking at minutes of February 26th. Any comments, changes? Everything look good?
Make a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting.
Motion been made by Commissioner Williams, to accept the minutes. I'll second that motion. Any other comments? All those in favor of approving the minutes of February 26th, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 3, audience of individuals. Seeing none, we'll move on to number 4. Review and act on accounts payable. Review and act on accounts payables. Commissioners, there's one thing that, Lord's item, I think the guy may have in his consent agenda, the hot water heater was replaced over at the jail. Those things are very expensive, for Texas Mechanical jail expense. And we also got a sewage issue over there. There's some kind of meat grinder thing that goes on that sewage pump that's currently being replaced too. Which can be another large item. Sheriff Poole, they still work on that, correct? But the hot water heater is working good now, correct?
Hot water heater is working good.
Good deal.
That was a huge expense.
Yeah, those hot water heaters are very expensive.
Page 7, road and bridge. Unified, I guess, their expense. Understand the console, but I didn't know what the seal kit was for $200. Does anybody?
That was on that, that was on that grinder, where the hydraulic lines hooked up on that grinder seal. They were just pouring fluid out. So,
Yeah. The only other one I didn't know, just to clarify, precinct 1, page 3, it says keyless lamp holders.
But that's for the, inside where we work at. We just had one light in there and I bought 2 of those, one for the bathroom and one for where we work at on the,
I just didn't know what keyless was. So.
yeah, I don't know why they say keyless either. But there were 2 lamps on them.
Okay, any other questions on accounts payables? I'll make a motion, we approve the accounts payables.
second.
I made the motion, a second's been made by Commissioner Head. All those in favor of approving the accounts payable, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Consent agenda, all the departmental monthly reports, commissioners, go through there, check things out. Have any questions?
I don't really have any questions, I'll keep commenting. Has the tax office given us an indication why the tax, our property taxes are so low, are they still not coming in correctly, or?
And then I just moved the money to our investment pool. I'm not gonna leave money sitting in the bank or anything.
Well, it's only showing up 94 collected
On,
from their report.
no, it's way more than that.
It's about 97%, when I checked with Connie, so it may not be gone through the reporting process yet, but it's about what it normally is, 97% at this time of year.
This is for February 2024, so initially, like, payments was counted with 15 days behind, so
Yeah.
I'm expecting March 1st on the 15th of March. Okay.
So we couldn't get a March 1st and then updated one.
How about you?
Commissioners, I'll throw out the county EMS report with 73 calls per month, and I had forgotten this. You see designations for M31, M41, M42. M41 and M42 are from Winston-Salem, comes over in Mills County. And EMS 40 from the captains and the squad are pickup trucks.
Well, I understand, I mean, I understand that part. What I'd like to know is if you could find out for us, Judge, is, it says 13 of those calls were mutual aid for those extra trucks to come over. Could we figure out maybe what their average response time is on that? Because, you know, with, Mills County being, it says their average for the month is 20 minutes. That's 2 months in a row that it's been extremely high. And so I was curious on those 13 calls with those extra ambulances. 41 and 42 coming over, but what was that response time?
Okay, I visited with Mr. Dana Allison. He may be listening in today, and I will get that information back to you today or tomorrow.
I'm just curious, I mean, that's 2 months in a row that it's been really high. So.
I'll get back to you today on that.
And the only other one that I have a question on is I was reading Guy's report from the facilities report. And it says for the new EMS that one of the doors is not working. One of the roll-up doors.
Yes,
And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 phone calls and another response from both the daddy and
there's been emails sent, there's been phone calls, and guy was in the office early this morning, and we're gonna go above, Carol, go to the big boss, since he had to return phone calls or emails. So I told him we'd call after Commissioner's report.
Okay.
Also, yes, we are aware of
the
it.
report, that's what it's saying, so.
I'm aware of it, and, they hadn't responded back to our members' calls and emails.
Okay. I have nothing further that I wanted to mention.
Okay, Commissioners, you have the questions on the consent agenda?
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Williams to accept the consent agenda. Any discussion?
No,
No one second that. I'll second that consent agenda. Okay, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Moving on to action agenda. Number 4, consider an act on audit report from Wayne Barr, Eckert and Company for fiscal year ended September 30th, 2023. Good morning, Mr. Barr. Welcome again to Mills County.
Good morning. Y'all hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Barr, thanks for all your hard work you do for the county. I'll turn everything over to you, sir.
All right. You should each have an audit packet in front of you, I believe. We're just going to hit highlights of the audit. Basically, if you'll turn about 2 or 3 pages in to a letterhead page, it will say independent auditor's report. And basically what this report says is these financial statements are the responsibility of management. Our responsibility as auditors is to express an opinion. And the opinion is a good, clean opinion. We did not have any issues that we had to report in the audit. So this is a good opinion. That's always what you're looking for. If you'll go over to page 4 of the audit, 4 through 8 is just summary information, management's discussion and analysis. So we're not going to spend time here, but basically this is a summary of all of the information in the audit summarized into just a few pages here. So most importantly, let's begin over on page 9. Now, this is a financial statement that represents the net position of the county, all wrapped up into one financial statement, balance sheet, if you will. The only thing this does not include is your custodial or your fiduciary funds, such as the clerk's office, the tax assessor collector, and those are presented elsewhere. But this includes all of your debt. Everything is all inclusive here on this page 9, which is basically a balance sheet. And then over on pages 10 and 11 is the revenues, expenditures, again, of all those funds combined into one financial statement. Most important page probably is page 12 and 13, and then 15 and 16. So over on page 12, this is a balance sheet that presents by fund. So that you'll notice the first column there is your general operating fund. And if you look at the very bottom down there, your fund balance for the general operating fund at the end of September was $4.4 million. And then the second column is your road and bridge. Third column is law enforcement. And then on the page 13, you have the ARPA grant funds, which is being, I think, closed out in this fiscal year. And then all of your other funds combined over in the last, second to the last column. Probably most important one is that first column on page 12 is your general operating fund. And then on pages 15 and 16 is the revenues and expenditures, again, of those same funds. So tax revenues, all your expenditures, et cetera, and then where you all transferred money out to road and bridge, law enforcement, and other funds. So again, at the very bottom of that first column is your fund balance for your general operating fund. And then pages 18 and 19 are a financial statement related to what we call fiduciary funds or custodial funds, which is your clerk's office, tax assessor, JP, and sheriff. And then 19 is the way this is presented is additions and deductions, which is basically revenues and expenditures, if you will, of those custodial funds. All right, beginning over on page 20 is standard footnote information related to the county. If you will go over to page 25, we'll get into a little more details of some of the information in the audit. The bottom of page 25 is where the general operating fund supplemented, if you will, into the road and bridge, law enforcement, and other non-governmental, other non-major funds, excuse me. So $1.677 million is what was supplemented to the other funds. And then page 26 is your capital asset information. And always be mindful, this is presented at historical cost. So what you paid for it years ago is what's presented here. And then on page 27 is your long-term debt or your limited tax bonds information. So the bottom of page 27, very far right column, $8.2 million. That is what will be owed principal and interest out over time through 2040. All right, 28 through, let's see, 34. That's just standard pension plan information. We're not going to spend time there. That information is provided to us, by the way, by TCDRS. So 35, you have some tax abatement information that is presented. And at the bottom half of 35 is your EMS agreement and what is to be paid out over time on that EMS. And then page 36. And again, I'm just hitting highlights. If y'all have any questions, be sure and stop me. Page 36 is your budget comparison schedule for your general operating fund. So if you look at that second column, the very bottom figure, 4.061 million, based on final budgeted information, this is what you all anticipated being in fund balance at the end of September. You actually came up to 4.372 million. So you came $311,000 to the good, comparing your actual results to your final amended budget information. And then 37 is budget information for your road and bridge fund. $38 will be your law enforcement fund. $39 is your interest in sinking fund or your debt service fund. So nothing to report there, all good. Pages 40 through 43, 43 is just other pension information, just supplementary information. 45 represents your certificates of deposit on hand at the end of September. And then a couple of pages on over after that is what we call a report on internal control over financial reporting. So if you had something of a major budget issue or a bidding issue or a state compliance issue, federal things of that nature, it would be reported here as a finding. And I'm happy to report we did not have any findings for the fiscal year. Gentlemen, that in a nutshell is the audit. Would answer any questions if you have any. And again, I just hit highlights.
Mr. Bourne?
Yes,
Page 38, back to you, please, sir.
okay, 38.
So am I reading that correctly? We, on the revenues, it was totally messed up there. Is that we over budgeted for revenue? Is that what I'm reading that?
That is correct.
Questions?
And to be honest with you, I hadn't sat down and studied this. I had a long week last week, so.
Oh, it's good reading in the evenings.
So compliments all the departments for attending the business. It's good to have a good audit.
Yes, sir. Had a good audit.
Commissioners, any other questions?
Number, do you wanna say anything?
Okay, hearing no other questions, Mr. Barr, we appreciate your, coming to us this morning via Zoom. Thanks for the report and, have a great day.
Thank you. If I can be of any help during the year, be sure and reach out to me.
Thank you, Mr. Barr. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Number 5, consider an act on moving early voting location.
Wait, are we, that was a consider an act.
I'm sorry.
There's going to be,
Yes, well, we need to approve it.
Make
Sorry.
a motion that we approve the audit report by Eckert and Company for the fiscal year ending in September 30th, 2023.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Williams to approve the, audit report.
Second.
Second's been made by Commissioner Head. Any other discussion or comments? All those in favor of approving the, audit report from Eckert and Company, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Now, moving on to number 5, considering an act on moving early voting location. Ms. Sonia.
we ran into some difficulties having early voting over at the community center. Even though we reserved it, we haven't had any problems in the past. There are cameras that are up in that building that is illegal to have those in a polling location. I don't know if the court knows that there's cameras up there. I don't know who has access to the feed. But it needs to be moved. It needs to be someplace that we have control over. Hill Country Community Action. Basically a staking claim saying that it's their place to have and to use. I propose we move it over into the basement of the courthouse. I've already talked to Treasurer Campbell. We can use the mural room. It'll be some disruptive. Your numbers may go down some just because people are gonna have to come into the courthouse. But that's what I would like to do.
Okay.
Is it easier for people to get to the senior center and
I think so. They have better parking. It's less walk for them. When you're talking about someone that's elderly or mobility challenged, they're not gonna have to come down the ramp. The doors of the courthouse are heavier.
And so is the concern is Hill Country is correct?
Correct.
Have we sat down and talked to Hill Country?
Hill Country said that it hasn't been a problem in the past and thinks that the court supports them being there. So,
Well, it is kind of our building.
Any other possibilities like the MC Bank, Glen Collier room or anything, or?
it needs to be ADA so that someone can come in and go out.
About
The other thing is, is the bank gonna charge us? Does the bank have cameras? Do we have access to it? The problem we're having right now is that we have access to this building. And I thought that we had control of this building and we didn't.
I don't remember. We cameras.
I did not have the backing to have full control of
Well, I
it.
didn't think about the cameras myself either.
Find out who put the cameras out and all that.
So it's up, y'all get to approve where we have this. I'm telling you, it violates the laws set forth by the Secretary of State.
Well, I'm fine having it in the courthouse. We'll take your recommendation in the basement.
Do you have any other
So
questions?
we know have,
How about this, how about the housing community center?
You're gonna have to have it for 2 weeks on a Saturday and Sunday too. I don't think the biggest complaint we have about the housing center is people don't know where it is. It's harder to get to. It's also not gonna be a short walk.
I think it'd be better around the courthouse somewhere.
I would prefer to have it in the courthouse where I can get to it very quickly because it's an everyday thing all day.
And you're looking at, I assume we approve this for the next, runoff election in May, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's
Commissioner,
gonna take a lot of time to inform people of the change.
Right.
The other.
it's gonna have to be in the paper, on the website, word of mouth, Facebook, social media, wherever we can get it out there. People do not like change.
And
They are
the,
going to show up over at the community center.
and runoff election is May 28th, correct? With the 1 week vertical.
Unless the governor says something, then there's something on May the 4th, isn't there?
It's already missed the deadline for that. It's done. There will be on the next commissioners court agenda, an agreement for Goldthwaite ISD to rent our equipment for their school board election.
Okay.
Has security cameras in the basement, is that not a problem?
The voting equipment will be inside the mural room where the cameras are not.
As far as somebody walking in down there, they're gonna be viewed.
That's fine, but just not where the voting equipment is.
You're also setting precedent and hey, these people voting.
Which that information is on the Secretary of State's website.
As far as, primary, it has,
Not person to person.
it has to go to the Democratic primary and go to the Republican primary. Sorry.
You can log on to the Secretary of State's website, pick a day and pick the race, and it'll show you everyone that voted. You can log on for election day and every day, whether it's the Democratic primary or the Republican primary. That information is available to the public, along with how many registered voters we have and the percentage of turnout.
So it's
So-
been private.
Well, they can't tell how you voted, but they can tell you did vote. They can't tell.
So the cameras over in the community center,
My understanding is.
Or they
weren't
can
even- They weren't even through that direction. They
No, we
said-
kept the voting machine turned a different way, so no one could see that. But my concern is this, to my knowledge, never went through commissioner's court. The county has no access to those cameras or the feed. This is a county-owned building that someone's put in a private feed that you don't have access to, but if that doesn't bother y'all, that's up to the court. But for elections, that bothers me very much, and it needs to be moved.
Well, I'm all for, moving to the courthouse basin. I'll make a motion that we move.
You're gonna get a lot of pushback.
Yeah, I should say, I don't know.
It's not easy to get down there. So, I mean, y'all do whatever you want to do.
What, can we not, have we talked to Hill Country and said?
Can't you just turn the things off?
Yeah, but can we
It's your
just,
building, you can do it whatever you want.
can we talk to Hill Country and say you can't, just,
Redirect the camera or put up some barricades or
Hill Country,
just think about it a little bit.
so we did, the judge called Hill Country into their office and met with them. Said this hasn't been a problem in the past, that the cameras have been there. I don't know how long the cameras have been there. It never went through court when they got put up. They said they lose grant money. They call that congregate seating for the seniors to come in and eat is congregate seating, and they get $2 more per person that comes in to eat than they do for home delivery meals. They don't want to lose out on 2 weeks of money, is what it's gonna come down to. So do we offer to pay them $2? They say they average 50 people a day. It's the same 50 people. 1,007 people came in and voted, different people, individual people of Mills County. They feed the same 50 people. I think it is a great service. I think it is needed in the community. It's good for our seniors to have a place to go. But they feed those same 50 people for 10 days. We
That was-
allow 1,007 people the right to vote in a location the county owns that's easy for us to get to. So do we meet with Hill Country and say, hey, I'll pay you $2 for those 50 people for 10 days so we can have complete control of the building? But if I can't have complete control of that building, I don't want it there. And yes, I know I'm gonna get.
Well, you're not gonna have complete control over the Methodist church or the Baptist church or the
But they're there one day.
or anywhere else you have voting except the courthouse. I mean, you have voting all over the county and you don't have complete control.
We have control for that day. There's not other functions there. There's not a funeral going on at the church.
Y'all do whatever you want.
I had a visit with Hill Country Community Action, and one proposal was they would be glad to put up some partitions. They're talking about.
Too loud.
Was that?
It's too loud.
well, the whole thing that brought it all up, they were having a big old party over there during elections.
That was a birthday party. It wasn't Mills. Right?
It was not the meals, it was a birthday party, and that got it all
Shouldn't have had a
started. They
birthday
shouldn't have
party.
had the birthday party over there. Shouldn't have ever been allowed to have the party over there during elections. And that's what started it all. I just, I know it's hard to make change and people are not gonna like making the change, so.
I think for one thing, we need to find out who put the cameras up. If it's a county building.
Yeah.
And the camera, if we elect to use it, will be turned off
Well, the who is, but also the why.
or why, yeah, but
I don't know anything about it.
I think we need to find out on that first and see if we can make it, since it is where people are used to voting. If we can make it to where we can.
When's your deadline to know this? To make this change? I know you've got to advertise it, so.
They-
What's the deadline?
I'm looking.
Okay.
And even if you turn the cameras off, I'm not gonna say I trust someone over there to cut the cameras off. There'll be bags over the cameras. Tape, bags, something.
Make that be stable.
That's fine.
But you only put bags over some.
So what are you gonna do about the people?
Well, that's what I'm trying to ask. We'd have to have a meeting with Hill Country that's my thing.
I mean, it's not noisy all the time, it's just noisy during that birthday party, right?
They usually have about 15, 20 people every day.
To have other things going on while you have a polling place there. So we've got away with it in the past because the person that was there kept things to a minimum. They didn't do bingo, they didn't do exercise, they kept it really small, it was really quiet. They kind of stayed on their side and we stayed on our side.
But there's anything.
And that's not how it's going.
That can be addressed.
But we'd have to meet with Hill Country.
Well, I can relate.
Well, I think Sonia has more to say about that, and she should say more about that. There was a meeting with Hill Country.
I was basically overruled. I was told that the judge did not have a problem with them being there. That's not what the judge said,
When they told
but that is what, there was no action taken after that. And the judge said, that is not what I said. That is what Hill Country interpreted, you said, and then no changes were made.
I went over and told them, vote it down, you gotta keep it quiet. That's what I told them.
And that.
I don't know how they interpret it, I said everything's fine, I have to be well apart. I didn't say that.
And they started taking pictures and then they
Right.
started.
That was the birthday
So-
party, that one fun.
I know, but.
No, but
there's
even the
pictures
lunch
in-
person has been difficult the lunch person has been difficult to work with. Challenging, how about that?
That can be addressed.
But if I don't have the backing of the court, then
When's
it
your
doesn't.
deadline? When's your
I'm
deadline?
looking.
The other thing is you're not supposed to have, your phone or anything in the polling place, and so. That that was the birthday party, yeah. So if you wouldn't have had a birthday party, you wouldn't have that problem.
Yep. Don't see the date for the order. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay,
So can we table it and find out more information and then maybe have to have a call?
I think that'd be good. I'd like to have a meeting with one of the commissioner and Sonia with one of the Hill Country Community Action.
Okay, let's get it scheduled.
Okay, all four commissioners?
And.
Okay. Okay. When would you like to do that, Commissioner Barton? Okay. I can reach out to them and see when they're available. We'll have a special commissioner court meeting. How about that?
I think so.
Does that sound good, everybody?
I make a motion that we table the moving of the voting location till after a called commissioner's court.
Okay.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Reeves to move the early voting to our next meeting. Second's been made by Commissioner Head. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 6, discuss body camera grant. Sheriff Poole, good morning.
Morning, everybody. As part of my transparency role with you guys, just bringing up that our final Office of the Governor grant has been approved. There were some headaches because when we started the grant, we were working with Trinity Solutions, a company out of Dallas, I believe. When the money finally came in from the governor's office, they no longer are in business or don't carry these cameras anymore. So we had to start over from square one and find a company that could sell us the same cameras, same package, with the cloud service and all that, for about the same money. So we did find one with Ramco Rugged Portables. These people, I believe, are out of Dallas as well. So they're local to Texas, and they came in at the same amount of money. And if we're getting $3,979.95 from the governor's office, and we're having to pitch in an additional $1,224.80 in our funds. And from what I'm understanding is that we had to kick in some money because when the grant went through the COG, they didn't fund it completely for what we needed, but they funded it at a pretty good rate. I mean, almost $4,000, and we just had to kick in $1,200. So,
And I noticed this morning that in here.
okay, so that was coming through. The product should be shipped, probably this week from what I'm told. And that will get us everybody on the deputy side with a body camera, including the sheriff and chief deputy. And it'll give us an additional 2 cameras for the jail. So I'll have 4 cameras in the jail for body, when they're moving inmates and whatnot, so. It'll fully staff us in body cameras.
Okay, questions, discussion, commissioners?
Thank you for the report.
All right,
Thank you, gentlemen.
thank you, Sheriff Poole, have a good day.
Y'all do.
Number 7, consider an act on CTIF grant. We discussed this last time, we tabled it. This is the grant that is offered out, I guess through TxDOT. Commissioner Porton, I know, has been on a meeting with me. Briefly, what this grant is, we've been approved for $95,193. 80% of that is what the county can be reimbursed if we pursue this, which would be $76,154. During our conversation, I think 2 weeks ago, I stated we want to keep this simple if we do this, mainly maybe for basic material. If we do move forward with this, we need to have the paperwork done by May 25th of this year of 2024. And then the project has to be done by, I think, Commissioner Porton, April of 25, is that correct?
She said it basically, you could have it done in March.
So
Yeah.
what,
Because you gotta get your bills.
Yeah, the invoice.
Which is-
So the way this would proceed, there's different options. We could have all 4 commissioners participate. We can only have 1 commissioner participate. Again, the best way to keep it simple, we will send into the designated road project, what we're gonna do. And they would come out and verify and say, okay, to do this road. Then we would, go move forward there, send the paperwork in. Commissioner Porter, will add some things to it.
When you say paperwork, what do you mean?
Just an invoice. We first got to designate the road that we're gonna be using.
We've already done that designation once. And so so we gotta redo this one? So that's what you've gotta turn in. Is that what the paperwork you're asking for?
For them to approve, and then they're gonna want to invoice once we get going on this.
We did this one and it says it has 5 years to do this one.
Yeah, but
So
the
this one,
deadline is still the same,
okay.
but that's no good.
And why is this no good?
Because y'all didn't do it,
But we have 5 years to do it.
but y'all,
Trying to figure
y'all
out.
told me that the reason it wasn't gonna be done was because most of that was concrete. And you have
Correct.
to have an architect. and
Have to get an
engineer.
architect.
Correct. So, but what you're saying is that she's telling you we have to change this
You can
sheet.
change your
Yes.
project.
Okay, so that's what you're saying is that she's gonna want us to change this original form.
Yeah, or just do away with it, make a new one.
Correct, okay.
But basically, I think there's something everybody needs to know too. Summer, you're right.
Oh, better than paper.
$95,000 something dollars has been approved for Mills County. It
Yes.
is an 80% payment. So to get the 76,000, you have to spend the 95. If you do road material, it's gonna have to come out of your money while you're doing it.
Yes.
And then when you're completed, they will reimburse the county.
Up to 80%.
Well, yeah, but, it's gonna cost you some money, but it's still $76,000. But you're gonna have to operate on your funds until it's done.
And again, I want to stress, you can split it up 4 ways, or one precinct could have all of it.
Can you run through the dates for me one more time? When is the paperwork leave by?
The submitted paperwork needs to be done by May 25th, 2024.
And the project completed by?
April 25.
I think April of 2025.
April 1st or April 30th?
I'm looking. It just says, my notes, April of 2025, all project must be completed.
Thank you.
But that's what I want everybody to understand. You're only gonna do 80% of the money that you spend in the back. It's gonna cost you the 20, but there's not anywhere to get that money from for your road material, if you just go road material, which is the simplest thing to do. But you're gonna spend your money and then you won't get that back until your project's done.
Yeah.
And I think Robert and I kind of talked on Friday. You can either get it done this fiscal year and that may get back into your line item of material. If it was not done in the fiscal year, that revenue is gonna be received into the revenue lines in road and bridge, and then I would recommend you increase your budget by however much you spent last year. And then slow that down to precinct. That was the concern that the precinct wouldn't get those funds back. With that, in the budget process, that's how I would recommend it.
We're talking to other counties, it's nearly the next year that's when they get.
I figured it probably would be,
So you, I mean, if we did it this year, you're not gonna get it.
yeah.
And you're right there.
Well, they only sent one check.
Yeah, so,
You know, it's not gonna be everything very good, by the way, which you down, just how I got to play. I probably didn't get the money to go on.
That's not how she presented it before, that's why we divided it the first time into 4 different precincts.
well, we can submit invoices as we go and see if they cut checks after each project. That's easy enough to do.
But you do that, you do provide your, what county road you're gonna work on, they have to come pre-approve
Yes.
that road. And then when you're finished, they have to come approve. Really no different than working with subdivision stuff.
So commissioners, while we got to work on this, what do y'all want to do? You want to try to work together, or is there one road everybody has an interest in? Y'all want to split it?
I'd rather split it, but it didn't work.
Okay. Split it.
I mean, well, for one precinct, one precinct couldn't handle the, financial part of the whole thing anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd rather split it. Like me and Summer talking, I'd rather split it, but I think to make it go better, it'd be nice if we split it, but we do all the precincts kind of work together a little bit and just get the project done in a really timely manner and just keep rotating from precinct to precinct till all 4 projects are done. You know, maybe take a week out and all the precincts kind of help haul, do the hauling or something like that, where we can move it a little easier.
What I think would be good too is bring all the paperwork into my office and coordinate the paperwork there, then I'll send it in for y'all. So y'all think that's the best way to do it? Or it's gonna get complicated, each individual commissioner to do it.
Well, that's what I was just fixing to ask, who's gonna be in charge of doing all the paperwork?
Well, I recommend
Each individual one or one person?
Everybody put their work on one page, not like that one.
I'd say each individual commissioner could do their own project and then bring it in the office, we'll send it in at the same time.
Put it on that list, and then as invoices come, you'll tell me that's for your project. I'll make extra copies of those and send them on. I'll take care of that side of it.
It's a county grant, it's not a precinct grant. So the county, now correct me if I'm wrong, but the county needs to apply for the grant. And then how the county divides it up between precincts is our business.
Well, I think they have done that before where they just listed projects by each precinct and presented it as county business, so to speak, and they accepted it.
Right.
It just never got done. Yeah, I think y'all did some of those
Yeah,
projects.
so
They just weren't.
each precinct picked a project to get the money, the funding. And we put it on there, and 3 of them are low water crossings with cement. And, we did that on 10/26 of 2020. And it says that you have to 25 to complete the project of these that we put on. And nobody, and when did it come out that it was gonna be such a headache with text dots to do the cement crossings, because you gotta get them engineered and all this other stuff that we did not, that's part of the funding and you gotta pay for it. And so what they're saying, they just wanna buy material and change this whole sheet and do 4 different roads, is what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah, and that's what the lady suggests,
Yeah,
Victoria, that's
McKee.
Victoria McKee, yes.
And so it's still, that's still the county's money, it's county, but we're gonna have, but beforehand, in the previous discussion, that everybody wanted their own money, like we're talking here today, and so everybody was gonna be in charge of their own project. But Dale said that she's saying, no, you're gonna only get one check, one project.
Yeah, it's gonna be, the grant is gonna be one check, it's not gonna be divided up among precincts. And if you've got more work in one precinct than the other, then that's just the way it is.
And it says that on this or this contract, before any projects are done or any roads are done, this must be filled out 2 weeks prior to the project begins. So if you're saying this has to be turned in by May, you gotta go back it out 2 weeks. And it has to be approved in that 2 weeks before the project can even. The other form is that it has to be, design standards and specs must be met, and what specs the design standards are gonna do, even on this materials.
I did ask if we had our material, that there's a possibility it could come from as many as 3 different venues, if it hasn't been checked, you could,
It doesn't specify, it says you gotta have this design standards. And what are the county's design standards, is what she said. Now that was in 2020. And she found and talked to it.
I think they probably might cost some because it's getting close to the end, but also I guess my biggest fear is if you don't utilize it, it goes away, you might not get an opportunity again.
Yes. Okay. Any other comments, commissioners?
The only other thing it says is use FEMA rates,
Well,
so.
getting away from labor and everything, it's just gonna be an invoice for your material and then put in the county ones in.
Yeah, but do we not count the labor?
No. Okay. Somebody want to make a motion on this?
I'll make a motion with. Go through the CPI on that.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Barton to receive the CTIF grant.
And who's gonna fill out the paperwork?
For each individual commissioner to bring in my office, and I will forward it on to the group.
Somebody's gotta fill out this paperwork and get it to her.
I know, but each individual commissioner is going to designate which road they want there.
And then you've got to, and you're gonna fill out this form.
Yes, well, I'll be glad to do that, yes.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes. Okay. So motion has been made by Commissioner Barton. Second's been made by Commissioner Head. End of discussion. All those, approving the CTF grant, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 8, consider an act on the use of 1888 jail. This was brought up about 2 weeks ago. We tabled it. Everything's done in the jail regarding, work except for fiber optic. We've got the electrical all finished, was finished up, and we're waiting for a bid for the fiber optic. The question was, who or what are we gonna do with the 1888 jail? I'm leaning towards having our new county attorney on January the 1st. 2025, Bill Malone to have an office in the 1888 jail.
So my only concern is listening to Goldsmith last time and talking to Jamie, it's gonna cost quite a bit of money to get the boring process over there.
Okay, I still hadn't heard any reports, any figures, anything.
Right, but that's what they were saying.
They was
and that's
talking
what
about
Jamie-
$30,000 or something.
30,000 plus,
Okay,
and that is not in the budget
Yeah.
to do.
I didn't know it was
So,
gonna be that high. That's first figures I've heard.
well, that's what they said in
Yeah.
court last time was 30,000.
Okay.
Good call.
Could cost up to 30,000. And,
Of course, if it's-
but we already got, my thing is, we already got internet and all that stuff, phone lines and everything already in this building.
Okay,
It would be easier if we're gonna say that it would be easier to move some of the company or some of the offices here that don't need
okay,
the landline and the phone line and the internet over there.
okay.
Well,
But that's just my. opinion.
the only issue is that I see with that is the people who don't need internet and everything, they're not here all the time. We're talking about trying to figure out how to kind of open that up to the public more than closed.
Agreed.
And. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Right.
But I mean, if you just open it up to people who come here once a month, then how's that gonna accomplish? For a meeting up here once a month, how's it gonna accomplish moving?
But we checked, County Attorney Hillner on the Mills County Historical Commission Board. I think they're happy up on the 3rd floor, and again, they only meet once a month. And I don't know any other organizations that'd be interested in being out there. Do you, Gerald?
Well, what's it gonna cost to make this ADA compliant? If you have to have ADA compliant, they have to be able to get to representation.
I don't know.
Guy had a comment about a historical building, there might be an exception. He's not here right now. Yes, sir, Mr.
Judge, there are no exceptions.
No exceptions?
Yeah, this building had to be an ADA compliant after the renovation.
And that is an issue because I don't know, the front door, you'd have to go out the street somewhere. Yeah, and being very expensive.
If it's a county operated building, it would have to be ADA compliant.
Okay. Thanks for the comments.
Yeah, that's just not, I mean, I don't know, what about the, I hate to say this, but what about the courthouse quilters? Could they move over there? Again, Robert, what you're saying is they only meet once a month. Every Tuesday? Okay.
But basically, we're putting a whole lot of money into an old building that's.
That's what Dale was saying. Who's gonna use it?
And that's the only thing I thought of who could use it more than anybody, a future county attorney. But again, there's a cost associated with that.
Well, with what's been spent on it already. It's kind of like everything else, it's a bomb. You might as well go ahead and do something with it, because why did we put a mini split and all this stuff in it? If it wasn't gonna be used for something. Why did we redo all the electrical with the conduit, if it wasn't gonna be used? My understanding.
Well, if you move the historical commission, does the wave need internet and stuff, or do you know?
I don't know anything about it.
That's still a county operated deal.
The
The way.
wave's not a county operated. Yeah, the historical commission is. I mean, they're, I don't know. Historical commission. I don't know how that works. They're an entity of the court, just like the Child Welfare Board is, but I don't think the WAVE project is. And I don't think, what's the one Ms. Farrell does is.
Which
They
one?
just have whatever, what's the one that Ms. Farrell does?
I'm not sure of the title. I know what you're talking
Right
about.
outside this door right here. HMNR, they're not a part of the county, so. But as Judge Falk said, it's still it's a county business. I mean, county-owned building. So if we're gonna have public use in it, it's gonna have to be ADH approved.
And what the guy also said is correct, the only way you can do any kind of ramp would be on the front part of it, and that's gonna get complicated too. That's on the entrance into that building.
You think up to the back door, the route from the street is over here where the dumpster is. So there's already a ramp going.
Yeah, and then you can't go in the back.
I don't know.
Something done to the door going in.
I don't know if we could go in the back way or not, I do not know the answer to that. But we say,
I think you can. I think the stairs sit back far enough, but you can't make that door any wider because it's a metal frame.
it's something that looks like maybe we still need more information, I hate to table things, but there's still a lot of questions on future use, cost, expenses.
Way to go.
Parts of the looking for a gut road issue. So, commissioners' comments on this? How about, we keep bringing more information back? Two things for cost of future ramp, to make it ADA accessible. Cost of the fiber optic, we're still waiting on, or maybe pretty expensive. Anything else I need to check on for y'all?
Good.
Sound good? So cost for ADA ramp. Along with, internet fiber optic, okay, which we're supposed to get some pretty quick, oh, not fiber, the boring, fiber optic boring. Okay, anything else? All right, so we'll make a motion on that,
That you just did.
well, I'll make a motion again to table this item so more information can be provided. Second's been made by Commissioner Williams. I made the motion. All those in favor of tabling this for a later date for more information, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 9, consider an act on the right on Purple Wave Auctions Precinct 3. Commissioner Porter, go ahead, sir.
Got collecting within, 5-story road. Got collecting, there's one at Weatherford. That's on Purple Wave Auctions. It will sell Thursday, they're bidding on it now, online deal. Trying to get out somebody to go up there and look at it, but, just need to see if we can get it approved to bid up to, there is a 10% buyer's fee. So that would limit you to to keep it under $50,000. That would limit you to around 44 or 44,999, whatever. Right now, the thing is, of course, it's still 2 or 3 days off, but the thing's sitting at 19,000. I guess I was just going to see if the court would approve. In fact, Jason said it would help. You know, if it gets approved to set up and bid on it, come out.
Okay. Commissioners, questions?
So are we voting to approve you buying it and paying for it?
Well,
Or we have a special meeting and then we,
I did talk to the lady. They require payment in 48 hours unless it's free done. Which she said they would work with the government on entity to extend it, but if we got it bought, we'd either have to have it approved, pay for it if we bought it, or we'd have to call a special meeting and do the account payable and pay for it.
You need this.
I don't know what it was.
Auctions this weekend?
Or
Thursday.
and I'll be out Thursday, Friday. That's why I'm trying to see if I can delete the check.
so that's up to the- I mean, if we get it bought, it would simplify it if we can buy it on the month.
Yeah.
And that's the way they usually do stuff.
Well, we could make a motion up to a amount.
Yes.
and then approve it today, correct? But we will not be approving the exact amount in payments, am I reading?
That's correct. We've done that in the past for something else. We gave someone
And you have money in your budget, sir?
what are you buying?
Mr. Rowland,
Operating Miller.
Got
it. Is this it?
It's a ham.
It's a 2015 HAMM H11 and then Roman numeral 9 after that. Single drum roller.
which again, all the precincts could use it, correct, Commissioner Barton?
Yes.
For packing these roads in, I think it'd be a good, purchase for the county. If we can get it done,
Where we have an issue is basically, I don't think it's one to use it when you're grading roads, unless they were really rocky. But when you're topping one, you gotta run back and forth over them with a maintainer or something, and I've seen these things work. And it's amazing how hard they make it, they operate. So I just think it might build us some better roads. I think it'd be a good.
So buying something at an auction, that,
But he's wanting to buy
Attempting
something at an
to
auction.
buy.
It's at an auction right now and it started at 5,000 and it's up to 18,500 right now. And he wants to bid on it.
I've looked at them.
don't get out of the way, we've sold stuff at auction.
Now we're buying
I
something.
don't know if we've ever bought it there. That's a little bit of a challenge because the court has to approve the purchase. And you don't know what the purchase price is gonna be.
That's what's scary.
Well, could you say up to?
Plus you gotta have the money too.
Yes.
Yeah, like Summer's saying, maybe we can make a motion to approve up to a certain amount of money. Would that be possible?
I don't want you going over $50,000. Is that? Yeah.
And you can't, 10%, so you have, or 44.9, 49.
But then you need to add the 10% on it.
So we know what we're buying,
Well,
Want to buy.
so the court can authorize the purchase of a particular piece of equipment. But then, like I said, the price, I guess you could put a limit on it up to,
49,999.
but then I don't know what the procedure is with the auctioneer of payment.
Well, I thought.
I mean, you're not gonna have the cash with you when you.
Well, I mean, you're bidding online, and you're not. bidding.
Okay.
I'll just wire the money the next day. We can get wiring instructions.
Stuff more than 48 hours. I ain't even mentioned this, it's the way of the future. You're not gonna be standing there looking at a piece of equipment bidding on it for very much longer. And I am gonna try to do this piece of equipment that way. But right now, they're at 19,000, it's not gonna sell at 19,000, I tell you. Because I looked at a half a dozen of them from private firms. The cheapest one I found was 62.5. Up to about 125 to 150 grand.
Normally, the court has to authorize the purchase of a piece of equipment for a particular price. And so I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know off the top of my head that up to a certain.
Ask Mr. Barr on it.
I'm good. I can do one. Yeah, honestly.
Make a motion.
Make a motion.
Okay, I'll make the motion, we be authorized to spend up to 44,999.
No, you're gonna have to pay buyer's fees, so it's gonna be 49.
49,999.
Yeah.
On this piece of equipment, with the court's approval, and if the piece of equipment, when I get to look at it, meets our expectations.
Okay, that's your motion. So motion's been made by Commissioner Parton for approval to purchase up to $49,999. Correct? Okay. Is the motion? I hear a second from someone.
Second.
Well, he beat you to it, Commissioner Williams, so second's been made by Commissioner Head. Any other discussion, comments? All those in favor of approving the bid for $49,999 to Purple Wave Auction, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 10, Commissioners' requests and reports. Commissioner Wright, go ahead.
We've been working on County Road 327, and I'd like to make a request from the court that TxDOT, they're in the process right now, are fixing to start having a bunch of route. And they're gonna have several different piles of it. And some of it's gonna be up at Mullen where the old pile was at. Some of it's gonna be on 45. And they're wanting to use the precinct yard to put some in. And they're not gonna start doing this to the end of this month, so I'll put it on the agenda to have it approved by the court, but I just kind of want to get a consensus of the.
So is this our allotted material or is this?
No, it's just the material that they're providing for us. I mean, they're gonna give it to us,
They're giving it to all the precincts.
all the precincts. And they just want a place to store it, put it up. And they're gonna have 33,000 cubic yards. That's what's gonna be. That's gonna,
What type of material is it?
it's just the pavement route.
Millings.
that they ground.
Millings?
Yeah.
I don't know how much that is. That sounds like a lot of it, 33,000.
That's for all locations, so,
Okay,
what's gonna be put in, what they're asking to put in precinct 1 is 8,000 cubic yards. And that's, or maybe a little bit under, but that's what they're asking to put in precinct 1 yard. So, and it's belongs to belongs to the county. Just.
Well, I just want to make sure we're on to all.
Where are they gonna be?
They're gonna start at Brown County line and come all the way through, my understanding, right outside of Gulfport.
now, at one time, I thought there's 3 places they may dump it. Is that right? What you're saying?
Well, or more.
Or more? Okay.
Yeah, I know, I've been told where that material was up at other side of Mullen. That was gonna be one site, and one site was gonna be on 45, and I don't know where the other site's gonna be.
If it's on 45, they must be grinding.
Well, that's what they'll-
84 to
Yeah.
45, that's 30 miles.
Well,
that's-
that's start grinding out stars sometime this year too.
Yeah, they're gonna haul it, that's where my understanding.
That could be negative tax now, they need to fix 16 before they go grinding anything
I know.
else.
I know, but that's just what I've been told, and I can get more information from the court.
Well, I just didn't know if that was gonna be our replacement for the allotted period.
So far, no. It's the same deal that I think Dale got into, it's, so.
They will probably, now, I don't know about this, it's pretty, but what was that Pumpkin Creek, the first that we got? They had to bill us, but we did not have to pay.
Correct,
They call it an over allotment to the county.
correct, as long as the county uses it. That's kind of what this deal is, same deal.
Good, we can put in good use.
But I need, like I'm saying, I will get more information for the court and put it on the agenda to have it approved through the court and then go from there. But I wanted to make the court aware because I've been dealing with Carlos and he's been kind of telling me the amount that we're gonna do and how much for each location. That's all I know. So, but he calls it route, what he calls it, and not millings. I think it's millings, but he calls it route. So,
Okay,
but anyway, I wanted to bring that before the court, and that's about all I have.
thank you. Commissioner Head?
We did a little hauling on, County Road 235. Been running the brush shredder and then been trying to push up some stuff in the pit. So that's basically what we've been doing.
Okay, Commissioner Parton?
Been working back in what I call Schusterville, County Road 143, 142. put a couple of tins on it, and all the good bit of dirt back there. Got a 3-inch rain on it, worst part of it out.
You had that packer, you get back it down a little better, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, anyway, using the rock around and just hauling, trying to get some stuff out.
okay. That it? Commissioner Williams?
Well, most of y'all know I wasn't here much last week, but, and my pocketbook's a lot lighter after last week, but, so they did, some blading and, worked on a couple pieces of equipment. And then we had a few meetings last week, different meetings that the judge and I attended, about the county and different things. And the only one, and other than that, not much to report there. Just curious on the curb work at the LEC. Do we know anything?
I hadn't heard anything from Buster Taylor. Okay, is that it?
Yes.
County Judge's report, as Commissioner Williams alluded to, last Wednesday, March 7th, we had a meeting at the Law Enforcement Center to discuss a proposed radio tower. The meeting was set up by Commissioner McGregor of Sincata, included officials from Sincata, Lampasas, Hamilton, Mills County Sheriff's Department, along with Commissioner Williams is there, and Jesse Henage of Central Texas Council of Governments is there. And briefly, it was a rush meeting. And the proposal was for Mills County to put up 200,000 along with our surrounding counties for a proposed radio tower. But no land site had been approved. There's just a lot of variables, radio frequencies, et cetera. Well, I had several experts there. Anyway, long story short, I don't think it's in the best interest of Mills County to pursue this project. And I think Commissioner Williams agrees with me. So that's that. I've already talked to Sheriff Poole about everything on this. And I know our top priorities, our console right now. So that's one of our top priorities for the Sheriff's Department in the near future.
So this is the COG grant
Yeah,
in there. Hamilton wanted a tower and didn't get it, and Sincata's now put one in, and so now they're trying to get all the counties to go together. But they don't, I mean, the deadline is today.
today or tomorrow. And also, you got 4 counties sharing a tower. There's a big issue with frequencies.
Frequencies, where you put it, where's the repeaters, how much?
Yeah, who's the top dog of the counties? And it's just very complicated. It's gonna be a wreck.
It just sounded like a wreck, and they wanted to have another meeting, but they couldn't have another meeting in fast enough time before the deadline is today, so. Really scary on some questions there, but what was interesting is the grant that is out there that's available, and it was $2 million, from, that's coming out of the call. And we've already talked to Melissa about it, we need consoles. And that's what we should, one is for those. And, yeah, we're getting that one. And so that's really where we should be going. Belton is going for consoles. And, or Bell County. And so that's where we should really be applying that, but again, we need to make the deadline, so. We don't know about it, we don't know anything about it until that meeting on Wednesday.
So anyway, that's all I got for county judge's report. Number 15 or number 12, no, it's 15. 12, adjournment. Anybody want to adjourn? Robert votes, motion to adjourn. I'll second. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.